In the last video, I forgot to mention that there are some small changes in several files that I wanted you to make. And I've attached to the last video in the comments a zip folder to download called small changes. So I want you to take those changes and apply them to your own project. In this video, we're going to do a little bit more. Specifically, we're going to flesh out the new function. But before I do, I want you to know that if you have a helper called org products helper in your helpers folder, then I want you to delete that because we don't really need that helper. And in this video, I also want you to download the org product CSS and the org product JavaScript. And again, you can manipulate or change the CSS to make your app look however you please. But the JavaScript, you could change the wording, but if you change it, then your app might not work with what I'm going to teach you because it's fragile like that. So don't worry about all the classes and IDs in the JavaScript so far. We're gonna go through them when we get there, but I just wanted to, that's actually org products or people. This is org products. I wanted to just have them all there just for completeness sake. So download those files and you'll be good to go and you won't run into any problems. But anyways, let's go on to today's video. We're going to create the new function, and the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to do a signed in user, and you know what this does. It checks that only a signed in user, for example, can post something on your app. And the next thing we're going to do is tax details. Now this is something new, and what this does is it pretty much gets the tax options for your post based on your company location, because this is the org products controller and you're likely going to sell products and you might have to deal with taxes when you're selling. So this is how we're going to deal with the taxes. So if the person is logged in, then what I want you to do, let's have it end first, is make sure that this person is registered with the company. And these are all functions that we're going to write in just a little bit. So don't worry about it if you have no idea what they mean right now. We're going to get to it. Associated with a company. And we're going to do product or product.new. And this really just makes a new product object. So that's good. Now what I want you to do is I want you to go to your views, go to your org products. There's nothing in there yet, but I want you to create a new file. And I want you to name this file new.html.erb. Now again, we're going to end up with the sidebar because this is going to be done in the back end of our account. So we're going to have this kind of the same thing here. We're going to have our sidebar content and we're going to have a div class with a span of 7 and offset 3. So, or whatever you call them, MD7 and an offset of 3. And we're going to have a title called post food item. And if you haven't noticed, that's one of those little changes that I've made in the small changes file that I told you to download. If you look at the title, you would be actually providing the title here. So that's something that you might not know and I have not mentioned in previous videos, but I'm mentioning it now just for completeness sake. So we're gonna have a center here for the type for our H1 post food for sale, and we're going to build our form. So we're going to do a form for product do F. And then we're gonna close it with an end or else it will complain. And in this end is much like what we did before. So again, we're going to have our error messages. We're going to render our error messages, and then we're going to have a div with MD12. And we're going to close that div. And then we're going to render a new shared layout called product fields. And we're going to have a submit button called post product with the button large, button primary class. So if you've reached this point, then you know what to do. We need to create a new layout, because right now product fields is not part of our layout. So what we have to do now is create our product fields view. So what we need to do is go to save as, go to product fields.html.erb, and again, this is going to be much the same as our other layouts, for example, contact fields and company fields. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a product image. And if that is not blank, then we're just going to grab that image with the class of image photo. Otherwise, we're going to give them a way to upload. So it's going to have a class of image preview, and we're going to italicize that to give them the icon of FA upload, image upload. And then we're going to close off this, and then we're going to again give them an ID of upload click. And I guess we could have used the same code from our other image uploading process, but for here, I wanted to give some practice to myself, and I was thinking that in the future maybe I want to change something just for the products that is a little bit different from the avatar upload. So this is why I'm using different classes and variables, or classes and IDs. And if you check your org product JS, it will match the IDs or in classes that you have here. It's just so you know that they'll work. But other than that, what I want to do next is I want to create that file field. So F file field, image accept. And again, it's much the same thing as what you've already done for the avatar. So upload image, and then we're going to have the delete button that they can click to delete the image if they don't want it. So that's that. So now we're going to create all our fields. We're going to have our product name, the f text field name, with a placeholder. This will create the placeholder product name, and it's going to have a class of form control. And then we're going to have the categories. And you can think of the categories as much the same way as you would think of selecting countries and regions for your contact fields and company fields. So if you check your contact fields HTML, then you can see that it's much the same. We're using a collection select here, and we're using a collection select there. It's just we're calling on different tables to pre-populate those drop downs. So again, we're going to do the same thing for subcategory because it's another drop down that we call from our table. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have our price. And something that is new here is the number with precision. And this pretty much creates that decimal place that you see when we're dealing with money. So for example, you don't want a $2 product to look like that. You want that extra zero at the end. So that's what the number with precision does. And of course, we're going to have our text field called weight in grams. And weight in grams, I don't know, it's, as you know, the seller of the item would put the weight of the item in grams. So not much I can describe there actually. And the available quantity, because you don't want anything to go down to -1 because that means that they can't buy it. So it shouldn't show up. And we also have our expiry date because again, we don't want to sell anything that's already expired. And we're going to have a description for anything that doesn't really fit anywhere that the owner might want his customers to know about the product. And then we're going to have something extra. We're going to have our order online radios. And again, this I believe shows up in our org products.js. Let me check. Actually, it doesn't show up in our org products.js, but it does show up in our CSS. So our CSS will pretty much just show or manipulate how that thing is supposed to look like. So there it is. So not much to talk about there actually. What this order online radios will do is it will allow the owner to set whether the customers would be able to order this product online, whether they have online ordering. And again, similarly, we're going to have this tax option. Again, it has the same class as online order radios because they are the same thing. If you're going to allow your clients to order the product online, then you're going to allow them to or have to collect tax from them. And this this part of the code is different from the other contact fields and company fields because it will choose what kind of taxes are applicable to this item. So the owner of the item, the seller of the item will choose the tax option that applies to the product. And that's pretty much all I wanted to go through in this video. There's a lot to take in. So if you have any questions or comments, again, you could just leave them in the comment section below. We will come back to this in the next video and talk about this some more. But please rate, comment, subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.